Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia, and in this specific video, we are starting our new, I would say, algorithm in machine learning. Till so far, we have covered up various concepts, or I would say, algorithms with respect to the machine learning part per se. If you remember, we started with a linear regression, then we have talked about logistic one. Further, we have talked about decision tree in very detail. We have talked about random forest as well. Now, I think it's the right time that we will discuss about the naive Bayes classifier, or I would say naive Bayes algorithm as well. In this specific video, our focus is on the mathematical intuition part firstly, and then in this same video itself, I will try to showcase you the implementation for the same. It's a very easy concept, I would say. So please try to be more attentive so that you will be able to understand this concept very, very easily, right? And we will try to showcase you few demonstrations, practical examples, use cases, so that it will be very, very easy for you to grasp the concept. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So whenever we are talking about this naive Bayes classifier, as the name itself suggests, right? This particular algorithm works on the basis of Bayes theorem, which is very widely famous as well. Whenever we will discuss about the probability, I think you must have heard this theorem of Bayes, right? What this theorem usually says, it says or it talks about something called as conditional probability, if you know, right? So it usually talks about the concept of conditional probability. Now, what is the meaning of that? Let's try to understand. Let's say I am saying that I want to evaluate what is the probability of A given B. So the way to convey it is that, for example, already one event already has happened. So what we are saying is probability. What is the probability of event A given B, right? It means that B has already been taken place, and now you have to evaluate what is the probability of A. So in that case, the result will be coming out to be what is the probability of A intersection B divided by what is the probability of B. This is how basically we can evaluate the probability, or I would say conditional probability, as per this Bayes theorem. Now, why I'm talking about this particular stuff, that's another question which you can ask from me. So by the way, if I'll just solve this equation, what is the probability of A intersection B you will be able to evaluate? So you will be able to get the value as probability of A given B into probability of B, right? Perfect. So in other words, if let's say I want to evaluate the opposite thing, what is the probability of B given A? So the answer will remain same. It will be probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of A. Can I say this thing? So if let's say someone wants to evaluate the probability of A given B, in that case, they can use this probability of A intersection B as nothing but the probability of B given A into probability of A. Can we write like this? So can we write this equation of probability of A intersection B as probability of B given A into the value of probability of A divided by the probability of B? So you can also evaluate the probability of A given B via this second version of the formula as well, which I have just now evaluated, right? So this is the way where we will be able to get the answer. Now you can ask from me that, Priya, why you're talking about all these things, right? Where is this conditional probability concept or Bayes theorem concept came into picture, and why usually we try to understand that concept? So I will try to talk about these things with the practical example. We will take one random data set with the help of which I will talk about the maths behind this, and then maybe you will be able to appreciate that why we're talking about all these things. For this, what I will do is I will try to take one data set which you will definitely find in almost all the standard platforms that we have, right? And I will also try to insert one more image here in the same picture. So this is the second image that we have, okay? This is the second image that we have. So now let's try to focus on this particular two images that I just now have pasted, right? So here you can see this is the first record we have, second record we have, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13, and 14. So in total, if you can see, we will be having almost 14 number of records, right? We will be having almost 14 number of records. In this scenario, you will be able to understand we will be having four, I would say, independent features, and one is the target value that we have, right? So outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, depending upon the weather, a person will decide that whether he or she will go to play a golf or not. So either the result will be yes or the result will be no. So one thing which you will observe is in this specific data set, the target variable is given to us. And this target is saying that either the value will be yes or the value will be no. So can I say that this is something which we called as a classification problem, right? This is something which we called as a classification problem, yes or no, right? So in this classification problem, we want to build a classifier where, let's say if in future someone will say that I want to find out the probability or I want to find out the result, where my model will predict that whether, let's say if I'm saying outlook is sunny, right? Temperature is, let's say, hot. Humidity is, let's say, normal, right? Windy is, let's say, false. So in that scenario, whether a person will play a golf or not. So I'm not sure as of now, but what I want is I want to make a prediction that whether a person will play a golf or not. So I want to create such kind of a model. And that is where we can use that naive Bayes classifier model to do the prediction. So we have to understand how basically this will work. So what will happen is it will try to find out the probability of yes and the probability of no. So what will happen? You will say that what is the probability of yes given whatever features I'm talking about, that the outlook is sunny, right? Temperature is, let's say, hot. The humidity is, let's say, normal, and let's say windy is false. So at that point of time, can you do a calculation of evaluating a probability of yes given all these input features, which is nothing but you can say x1, x2, x3 and x4. So can we able to find the probability of yes given all these four features? Similarly, second thing which we will do is we will try to evaluate the probability of no given again all these four features, which is nothing but sunny, right? Hot, normal and false. So given all these features which are common, I think now it is visible to everyone, common for both of them, what we will do is we will try to evaluate that probability number, right? And let's say I'm assuming, I will show you the calculation how will you able to evaluate it properly. But let's assume that you will be able to get the probability of yes as, let's say, 0.247, or maybe let's say you are able to get the probability which is 0. Let's say what should I say, 0.64, because the sum of the probabilities should be equals to 1. So that doesn't make sense, which I have written previously. So let me write a generic number, let's say 0.64. So the remaining one will be definitely, let's say I'm saying it will be 0.4, maybe 0.6 and 0.4. So in that case, you will be able to get the probability of yes, which is quite bigger number as comparable to probability of no. So what your model will do is, in that scenario, your model will predict the answer as yes. And it can be vice versa, because as of now, we have not done any specific calculation here. I'm just giving you one random example. But if you are doing a proper calculation and you come to a point where either the probability of yes is higher or the probability of no is higher, definitely according to that probability per se, your model will give the prediction that whether the answer will be yes or no. Now, how this prediction will happen, how the calculation will be done, let's jump to that point. I hope the overall idea behind this part is pretty much clear to everyone. So what is the probability of yes given all these four input features? Let's try to understand that part now. Now you know that the probability of A given B is this one, which is probability of B given A into probability of A divided by probability of B. So if you will try to apply this generic formula on top of the below thing, right, which we have, so how can we apply that? So you will say, in this case, let's say we are trying to evaluate first of all for the yes part. So you will say, what is the probability of sunny when outlook is sunny given yes into what is the probability of, let's say you are saying hot, again given yes, into you will say again what is the probability of temperature as, let's say, normal, humidity, sorry. What is the probability of humidity as normal given again yes, multiply with again what is the probability of windy as false. So you will say probability of false again given yes into what is the overall probability of yes divided by, you will be having a term which is nothing but what is the probability of, you can say, into probability of A. So it will be into probability of yes divided by what is the probability of sunny into probability of hot into probability of normal into probability of false. So probability of sunny overall into probability of hot into probability of normal into probability of false, right? This is what you will try to evaluate. Now, this is the formula which you will use. Now, how I came into this formula, I have just used this generic formula which I have just now shown you. In our case, you can consider that this A is nothing but we have the probability of yes, y, and B is nothing but is the input feature, which is x1, x2, x3 and x4. So obviously when you have multiple features, you have to multiply all of them. You have to take all of them. So in the B part, you are using first of all x1, then x2, then x3, then x4, given the value of yes, into the overall probability of A, which is into probability of yes, you will say, divided by the probability of B, which is nothing but the probability of all the input features that you have. So when you will try to evaluate this, that is where this particular second picture will come into picture, right? If you can see sunny, how many yes are there? Sunny and yes. Maybe you can just check it out here. 1, 2, and let's try to see sunny and yes, 3. So you will be able to observe there are 3 yes and 2 no. So if I'll ask you, what is the probability of yes given this sunny wala part, probability of sunny given this yes wala part. So total yes is 9. You can see the count of total yes is nothing but is 9. So if someone will ask you, what is the probability of sunny given that yes value, you will say 2 by 9. Similarly, if someone will ask you, what is the probability of no given this sunny wala factor, right? In that case, you will just count it out. How many times the no factor will be there, right? So it will be nothing but is equals to, so it should be not 3 by 5, it should be 2 by 5, I believe. Let's try to recheck this part. Sunny and no, how many are there? Sunny and no. So this is the first and this is the second. So if this is 2 times, so your out probability should be, it will be 2 by 5, I believe, right? It should be 2 by 5. So again, you will again try to evaluate for further probabilities as well. So this is a table which is giving you the clear-cut idea that in total, if let's say in our data set we have 9 yes and let's say 5 no, so the probability of yes is 9 by 14, probability of no is 5 by 14. I hope that you know the concept of probability pretty well. Don't get confused in between all these things. Then we have tried to create for all the features, that is F1, F2, F3 and F4, a separate tables for which we have the categorical values that we have, right? And the yes and no. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find out the probability of yes and probability of no. Now, I'm not going into direct calculations here. You can just verify at your end. Might be there is some mistake. For example, just now I have shown that there is a mistake here. It should be 2 by 5. Similarly, 4 by 9 is the probability of overcast given yes, and 0 is the probability of overcast given no. Similarly, you can evaluate the probability of rainy given yes is 3 by 9 and probability of rainy given no is 2 by 5. Then you can just add up these numbers. It should be combined together, form up to 100% probability, right? Just check it out. Maybe there is something going wrong. In the overcast no, is there no data available? Overcast no. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them is yes. Okay. And what about no? There is no as such no we can see here. Okay. In the sunny part is that sunny and no. 1 and then 2. Yes, only 2 records are available. So it will be 2 by 5. Perfect. And here you will be able to get the calculation. Should be total 4, not 5 in that case, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. So the probability of this specific part will be 2 by 4 and this is also 2 by 4. So just re-verify this particular part. There is a mistake here which I have solved as for now. So in the outlook part, we have total, as we can see, 9 number of yes are there, but here we are referring 5 number of records as no. So let's try to figure it out. How many number of no's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now when we're talking about sunny and no, there are only 2 records. Rainy and no. Let's try to see that. Rainy and no. 1, 2, 3. So as per this data, it would be 3. Rainy and no is 3. So maybe I have to create it again altogether. So it will be 5. In that case, it will be 2 by 5 and it will be 3 by 5. And in the overcast, you will be having the probability as 0. Now it is fine because now the overall factor combined together will form the answer as 100%. So I hope it is clear what I'm trying to convey here. If you want, I can create for Outlook a separate table because below there is some confusion. So in the Outlook, we have, if you can see, 3 different Outlooks are available, right? Sunny, overcast and rainy. So let me create that: sunny, overcast and rainy. So what I'm trying to convey here, that in this 3 Outlook part, what is the probability of yes and what is the probability of no? That is what we want to figure it out. So when you are saying sunny, yes, let's try to catch up how many number of records are there. You will figure it out. It is 3. How many number of sunny and no are there? You will be figure it out. It will be 2. Similarly, for the overcast, you will observe it is 4 and 0. You can count it out. And for rainy, you will observe it will be 3 and 3. Okay. So now if I ask you what is the probability of yes and no for all these 3 outlooks that we have, probability of yes and the probability of no. So you can easily evaluate. Probability of yes will be, obviously, total number of yeses that we have is 4, 5, 6, 7. You will be able to see it will be 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be 10. Okay. And this will be 5. Let's see, there is some issue in this part as well. Sunny is 3, which is yes. So sunny is 3, 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Overcast is 4. Overcast is 4. Let's try to check it out. Is the overcast is 4 or not? So let's try to figure it out. 1, 2, 3 and 4. All of them are yes. Perfectly fine. Rainy. Let's try to see rainy and yes. Rainy and yes is 1. Then 2. This is no. And this is no and this is no. So only 2 out of this number are yes, as we can see here. So I think this is also wrong. So this table is completely not correct. So I would suggest that you can just not focus on this table. Although I have removed these numbers, I'm trying to writing it down. So in total, we will be having now that this number is fine. 9 number of records as yes and 5 number of records as no. So what you will be able to get here, probability of yes here is nothing but is equals to 3 by 9, right? What is the probability of, again here also, it should be 3 by 9, 3 by 9. Okay. Again, so what is the probability of yes for overcast? This part is 4 by 9. This part is 2 by 9. This part is again 2 by 5. This part is 0. And the below part will be, I would say 3 by 5. I hope it is clear to everyone, right? This is clear to everyone. So this is the probability that we will be having. Similarly, you can just check it out the other tables as well, because there are many mistakes which I have find out in the Outlook table. You can just check it out for the temperature, humidity and windy, is the table is correct or not. But I hope you will be able to understand with respect to this table that how basically we can evaluate the probability. Now, once you have evaluated that, what is the probability of sunny given yes? Just check it out. Sunny given yes, it will be 3 by 9. So you will write this number. So you will say 3 by 9 multiply with, what is the probability of hot given yes? The temperature is hot given yes. So I am expecting this is correct. So I am writing this number. If it is not, please, now I have shown you how you can rectify it. Then you will again try to evaluate what is the probability of normal given yes. It will be 1 by 5, as you can see on this particular screen. So 1 by 5. Then what is the probability of false given yes? As you can see, it is 2 by 5. You can just refer 2 by 5 here. Into what is the probability of yes? You can see 9 by 14. So it will be 9 by 14. So what will happen is you will try to evaluate this specific probability part. So maybe you can use the calculator now. So let me just try to use that. So what I am doing is I am trying to solve it via calculator. It will be nothing but is 3 by 9, 3 by 9. After that, we will be having it as 2 by 5. One thing that I am assuming that the calculation is perfectly correct. If there is anything wrong in that table specifically, please try to check it out at your end and rectify that before coming to the next point, right? You know how we can evaluate the probability, so I'm not focusing on that aspect. So I'm getting this number as 0.006. 5, 7. Again, you can recheck the calculation. 3 by 9 into 2 by 5 into 1 by 5 into 2 by 5 into 9 by 14. Now you must ask me that, Priya, why you have removed the denominator part completely? Because when we're trying to evaluate or compare the probability of yes given these features and probability of no given these features, obviously the denominator will remain the same. Do you agree with me? If I'll ask you what is the probability of no, so you will say now the probability of no will be, what is the probability of Sunny given no into what is the probability of, you will say, hot given no, hot given no, into what is the probability of, you will say, normal given no, into what is the probability of, you will say, false given no. Same features that we have, 4 features, into what is the probability of no. So what will happen is you are using that same values, but the conditioning factor will get changed here. Denominator, we will not use it again. The only reason is because both of them are similar denominator only. That is divided by the probability of Sunny into the probability of hot into the probability of normal into the probability of false into the probability of false. So here you can see we will be able to get the same values. So if you will just observe this denominator factor in this equation and in this equation, both of them are same. So what we will do is we will try to get rid of that, because this will not impact on my comparison part per se, right? If you are dividing the same value as a denominator in the both of the stuffs, then the equation will somehow remain the same. Whatever value is bigger will be bigger, right? So what I'll do here, I'll try to just re-verify the temperature table as well. So in this temperature table, you can see hot to no 2, so 2 by 9, 2 by 5, 4 by 9, 2 by 5, 3 by 9, 1 by 5, 3 by 9, 4 by 5, 6 by 9, 1 by 5, 6 by 9, 2 by 5, 3 by 9, 3 by 5, 9 by 14. I think remaining tables are perfectly fine, only that Outlook table have some issue, and I have resolved that in the above part. So you can refer this specific table and don't refer that below table for that case, although I have removed that error, but still, okay. So in this case, it will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the number which is 2. Okay, perfect. So now what we can do, probability of Sunny given no. So probability of Sunny given no is 2 by 5, as I can see. So let's try to write it down. 2 by 5 multiplied with, what is the probability of hot given no? Hot given no is, you can say 2 by 5. Okay, so I think we have wrongly written here. It should not be 2 by 5 in the yes wala part. Hot given yes is 2 by 9. Sorry. So it should be 2 by 9. And in this case, the probability of normal given yes is 6 by 9. So I have mentioned for the no wala part. I'm so sorry. Just remove this completely. So it should be 6 by 9 and into, what is the probability of, I would say, false? It is again 6 by 9, right? 6 by 9. Probability of false and probability of normal, both are 6 by 9. So we will try to again recalculate this number. Just wait for a moment. I'll do that. But let's write below number as well, because below denominator is 5, because the number of no's are 5 only, right? So let's try to check probability of hot given no is 2 by 5. So let's write it again 2 by 5 here. Further, what is the probability of normal given no? It will be 1 by 5. So let's write 1 by 5 here. Into what is the probability of false given no? False given no is 2 by 5 here. So let's write 2 by 5 in this specific case, right? Into what is the probability of no? All in all, it will be 5 by 40, if I'm not wrong, right? So let's try to evaluate this term again, and let's try to do the last comparison. So here we can clearly see it will be 3 divided by 9 into 2 divided by 9 into 6 divided by 9 into 6 divided by 9 into, you can say, 9 divided by 40. So in this case, I am getting the answer as 0.021164, something like that. Let's try to evaluate the below part as well. So it will be again 2 divided by 5 into 2 divided by 5 into 1 divided by 5 into 2 divided by 5 into 5 divided by 14. So we can evaluate this. For now, I'm getting this number as 0.00457, like that. So if you can just try to check it out as per the calculation that I have done on the live demonstration itself. I'm getting the probability of yes quite higher as comparable to the probability of no, given that 4 input features that we have. So as per the naive Bayes, this will give me the prediction as yes only, and it won't give the prediction as no. This is the overall internal working of this how naive Bayes classifier works. Again, let me give you a brief overview of whatever things we have covered up. We have first of all tried to develop 4 tables for the 4 given input features that we have. We have tried to specify in terms of categories, and we'll try to evaluate the probability of yes and no given the input features that we have. Once we have done that, the major purpose is to evaluate the probability of yes given all the input features and the probability of no given all the input features. We have seen that these probabilities we will be able to evaluate only with the help of this conditional probability. We have seen the formula. How can we formulate that? We have tried to use the similar formula to create the probability result. We have tried to find out what is the probability of sunny given yes, hot given yes, normal given yes, false given yes, into the complete probability of yes. We have skipped the denominator part. The only reason is because both of them are having a similar denominator, so it doesn't really impact. We have tried to figure out what are the values that we have, and we have tried to solve those values. Again, please recheck the calculation part. I have tried to make it as much accurate as I can, but still, okay. Again, if you can try to evaluate the same thing for the other probability part, you will be able to see that you will be able to get the another probability, which is 0.004. Now you can compare, or your model will compare whichever is having a higher probability, that will be the reported one. So this is the overall idea behind this naive Bayes. Now you can ask me that question that Priya, okay, this is what we have, but at what point of time we can go for this kind of algorithm? For this, you can just refer this page of naive Bayes classifier. It's in Geeks for Geeks page itself. It's very brilliantly written. But yeah, that image also I have taken from this page, which contains a bit of problem. So you can just rectify that. Before moving ahead, that in practical scenarios, at what point of time we can go for this? The important thing to understand is the assumptions. The very first assumption of naive Bayes says that the features that we are working ahead, for example, in our data, we have worked with the 4 features: outlook, humidity, windy, right? Temperature. All these features are independently each other, conditionally independent of each other. Then only you can apply this particular naive Bayes classifier. Otherwise, we cannot apply, right? If let's say we will be having a continuous features available in our data, in our case, for now, whatever data I have explained you, continuous features were not there, right? If you have observed, we have categorical features, we have categories of them. But if let's say you're working with the continuous features, which definitely in a real-time data you can work, in that case, the condition is that data should be normally distributed. If it is not normally distributed, you will face a trouble. You cannot apply this naive Bayes. And if you will apply, you will face a very bad result, right? Discrete features that you have should follow a multinomial distribution. So in stats, you can refer the sessions. What is the meaning of multinomial distribution? But this distribution is something which, discrete features, it assumes. So what is the meaning of normal distribution, multinomial distribution, Bernoulli distribution? Please try to get that understanding via the stats part, okay? Features are equally important. Here we are assuming that all the features are contributing equally, and there should not be any missing data available. So all these are the assumptions of this naive Bayes classifier that we have. Now, apart from this, you will be able to observe that this is where they have tried to take in that value of sunny, hot, normal, and false. Have we solved the same example? Sunny, hot, normal, and false. Yes. Let's see what are the calculations they have got. They have got the probability of yes given today is 0.02116. And I think we also get the same answer. What is the probability of no they have gotten? They have gotten the probability of no as 0.006. The only reason is, I believe, because there was some calculation mistake in our part, in the outlook part, in this particular table which they are demonstrating. So you can just refer that. But I believe anyhow, these things are pretty much clear to everyone. Please make sure you will not do that calculation mistake. This outlook table is somewhere we have to adjust and we have to look into this. And in this session, I have covered up where is the mistake, right? So please make sure that mistake you will not entertain. Okay. Now further, you can see that these numbers can be converted into a probability by making the sum equal to 1. So how they can convert? They are taking a, you can say, weighted average of that. For example, if let's say I want to calculate what is the probability of yes given today. Today means all those 4 values. So they're taking a weighted average of yes divided by the yes plus no. Similarly, no, for no, they are taking the weighted average for the no part. And then they're comparing. So basically, again, yes is the final prediction that our model will be able to give to us. So this is the overall idea behind this. So now we have different types of naive Bayes classifier, which you will see in future. But before coming to that point, you will be able to understand what is the advantage at what point of time we can go for this classifier. It performs well when we will be having a very small, or you can say limited training data. And specifically if we will be having a categorical features, in that case it performs pretty well. But if you will be able to observe, there is a major disadvantage of this particular classifier, which is that if you will talk about a real-time data, you will definitely observe this, that the features are independent in the in the real-time data. It's very difficult that all the features are independent. There might be a case that there is a dependency among one another. So in that case, definitely the assumption will not hold true for the naive Bayes classifier, and we have to get rid of that particular algorithm, right? Also, if you will be able to observe, if let's say 0 probability is there for the unseen events, maybe let's say there is an example. For example, if I am saying the probability of yes overall, or maybe the probability of normal given yes, or let's say we have seen also, right, probability of let's say overcast given yes is 0 completely, or sorry, given no is 0 completely. In that case, what happens? If let's say any of the term is 0, automatically, because you are doing a multiplication, it will lead to a 0 only. So definitely it will give you a wrong generalization. It will definitely give you a wrong result. So what I'm saying is, for example, you're trying to calculate the outlook as overcast, and you're trying to evaluate the probability of overcast given no. So it will come out to be 0. And that is where your complete calculation becomes 0, which might be a problem in this case. And that is the major issue why you will observe that at maximum number of times where we will be having a lot of data, we will never ever go for this kind of a classifier, right? Now, in the upcoming session, I thought that I'll cover up in this specific session itself, but I think it's very long. So what I will do is, in the upcoming session, I'll talk about the types of this classifier that we have. We have Gaussian, we have multinomial, we have Bernoulli. Just make sure that you will be having the knowledge of this distributions that we have in statistics. If you don't have, please refer that first before coming to the next session. I hope that you will be able to understand the mathematical intuition which I am trying to convey here. And in the upcoming class, let's try to finish this particular algorithm, where I'll talk about the implementation also, and I'll talk about the types of the classifiers that we have in this naive Bayes. Okay, so I'll try to share these notes. Just make sure that mistake of outlook, you will try to avoid that. Okay. So now I hope that you will be able to get the clear picture of how naive Bayes algorithm works. If you still have any confusion, any sort of doubt, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am available both on LinkedIn as well as you can mail me out. I will definitely try to respond to you as soon as possible. With this, happy learning to all, and I'll see you all very soon in the upcoming part of the video, where we will discuss another amazing algorithms in machine learning. I hope that you are enjoying this journey of ML with me. Bye bye. See ya.